Hello everyone and welcome to my end of year update for 2019. In this video we'll be looking over 2019 and everything that happened for the channel and looking ahead to what's going to happen in 2020. Maybe? I don't know, I'm not actually sure about that part. But to start off, we'll do some analytics stuff, right? Oh no, we won't. I've just logged onto YouTube and your estimated data data is incorrect for some dates, 1st of January 2017 to 25th of November 2019. So yeah, we're not looking at the analytics, but I'm going to go over what it turns out. I'm going to go over like a bunch of important kind of videos that happened this year, talk about the channel, I'll actually offer the big thank you right now. All of you who watch my content, a very big thank you, I appreciate it. And of course, an extra special thank you to my patrons. Let's pretend I totally didn't screw that up. Everyone who supports me on Patreon, you literally are the reason that videos get made. Without Patreon, this would have ended a while ago. So, huge thank you to all of those who support the channel, and those of you who like donate during live streams and stuff like that. That is also incredibly helpful and goes a long way to keeping the channel alive. So to kick things off, we will take a look at the first video. What video released on the 1st of January 2019? Oh, it was the end of year update for 2018! Okay, so yeah, I ended up releasing the end of year update last time on the 1st of January. I'm going to try desperately to get this one out on the 31st, but that should be fine because at the time of recording it's 15 minutes away from the 31st. So I've got the entire time until I go to bed to get this recorded and edited, which will be perfectly fine. But yeah, the end of year update 2018, if you do want to watch it, I'll leave links to all of the videos I'm going to talk about in the description. And it's quite interesting to see just everything that's changed from last year to this year. I will say the editing for this video might not actually be quite as good. I quite enjoyed watching the editing for the last one. But yeah, that was the first video I started with. But the actual first proper video that occurred ended up being the, on the 2nd of January 2019, Search for the Hunter's Longcoat, which, for those of you who don't know, I imagine most of you will know, the Hunter's Longcoat is an incredibly rare item in Fallout 76, which you acquire. You can buy it from the Travelling Responder vendor bot. I made a video talking that was originally intended as a guide for how to acquire the item and all of that good stuff. Problem was, after a full day of trying to get it, I wasn't able to get the Hunter's Longcoat, so I did tell people in the video at the start. I gave a very quick guide of like, oh, here's how you theoretically get it, and then I jokingly said like, and just repeat the process 500 times or something like that, and then I went into a bit of like discussion or a rant or whatever, and talked about all my problems with it. There was some nice cinematic footage. I made something decent out of the video, and it's currently sat on 49,209 views, which is pretty damn good. That is incredibly high, for me at least. It's, yeah, that video did really well. It's got a great like to dislike ratio as well. It's a video I'm kind of proud of too. It was born almost out of frustration because I couldn't make the guide I wanted to, but I still made something that people were, happy with watching. And I'm quite proud of that video, I suppose. Another video that I'm proud of, it was a very weird one. My very first build of 2019 was on the 4th of January, and it was the Patriot, which if you haven't watched, you should do. Not because it's a good build, but because it was me just going, oh man, people are getting annoyed that my builds aren't bloodied. Was it bloodied unarmed at the time? It might have been bloodied unarmed or two-shot explosive builds at the time were like the meta. But basically, I didn't make meta builds. So, because I didn't do that, I got a lot of comments, and still get the odd comment. Not very often anymore, though, where it's like, oh man, the build sucks or whatever. So I made a build based around the Tricentennial paint job and stuff you get if you spend like 20 quid or something ridiculous on Tricentennial Edition, or 20 quid extra or whatever, which I did, and you shouldn't really do. Yeah, I made a video on that, made it just to be kind of a comedy build, and most people enjoyed it. There was definitely a few people who weren't happy. Probably some of them were the people who I quoted at the beginning of the video and called out, but, you know, it was fun. I had fun with that. It's by no means a serious build, but it's an entertaining one. And, you know, as the video I get to cover is the first build of the year, I'm happy about that. Now, speaking of firsts, I did my first ever, started, a podcast happened. The Pipcast 3000, which isn't something from my channel in fact, it's on Kado's channel, Kadogenesis, youtube.com/Kadogenesis. The very first episode, Angry Tweeting, Fallout Updates and Metro Exodus, the Pipcast 3000 episode 1, went up on the 3rd of February. And it's Kado and I, and it's something we are still doing every other week. We're up to like 26, 27 episodes now. And yeah, every other week we talk about Fallout, we have a big Fallout topic, and we talk about gaming news, and we do all of that stuff. And this has kind of been my big collaboration of the year. I honestly assumed when I started covering Fallout 76, I'd be doing collaborations all of the time, and it'd be like super popular and big for the Fallout community and Fallout YouTubers to be doing that with each other. That has definitely not happened on my half, at least. I've, there's a variety of reasons which I'm not going to get into, but that just hasn't happened. But this is something that started in 2019, which is still going strong today. The Pipcast doesn't get like thousands of views or anything. Episode 1 here is on 694 views, but it is something I highly recommend for anyone who enjoys content like this, where you get to hear my opinions, my thoughts, anything like that. Or if you're a fan of Kadogenesis, because you should be listening to his podcast. I'm actually still wearing one of his shirts. Not like literally his shirts, I'm not like bunking with him or anything right now. But no, one of his merch shirts. But yeah, that was really cool getting started a podcast even with him, and we're still doing that, and hopefully that continues for quite some time. Now, next up is, we're still in February. I will say this isn't me going through like every single big video. There's only 12 videos in total, but a lot of the stuff I was really happy with and wanted to focus on was at the start of the year. So, this video I'm going to talk about here is probably the one It's the one I wish everyone in the Fallout community watched, but everyone in the Fallout community hasn't watched it, because currently it's at 8,927 views, which is reasonable, but considering the ridiculous number of hours I spent editing, it's probably one of my worst videos in terms of work versus view balance, because this was multiple days editing, multiple days writing, weeks researching, and doing tons of stuff. Essentially, it's me talking about how the legendary system works in Fallout 76, and the way that if you kill like a 3-star enemy, you've got, I can actually find the math on here, it was like a 0.00002% chance of getting the item you want, or something ridiculous. Like, it's really difficult to get the items you want in Fallout 76 because the legendary system is completely RNG. So I talked about that, and the number's actually going to pop up in the little segment I'm watching. Hopefully when I get to editing, I'll actually put this segment in, which shows all the fancy math out of context. Do watch it below. Yeah, there's 346,410 items I found that you could get from a 3-star legendary. That number was slightly wrong at the time. Now it's probably about right, to be honest. It's like over 300,000 items you can potentially get from a 3-star legendary, which is, yeah, not great. But yeah, I talked about how the legendary system, you're not going to get what you want, and I suggested a bunch of ways to possibly alter and change the legendary system, from like craftable stuff to the way Borderlands does it, where set locations or enemies have a higher chance of dropping specific things. I suggested a few things. This also was before the Purveyor, I believe. So, you know, the Purveyor's at least made things a tiny bit better, but the whole legendary issue is still a bit of a problem in the game. Now, on to a video which I also spent a lot of time in, but definitely worked out in terms of views to time spent ratio, the Ultimate Beginner's Guide for Fallout 76. Released on the 3rd of March, it now has 197,874 views. This is what I'm guessing a lot of you originally saw with the channel, because this video was huge for getting me new subscribers. Like, I've gained about 10,000 subscribers this year, and my guess would be... I could actually check the analytics if I was smart. I will do that right now whilst I think about it, because it should tell me in analytics how many subscribers I gained from this. I only gained 1,000 subscribers, but that's like 10% of my subscribers from this year came from this video. So, yeah, I'm kind of annoyed that 197,000 views and I only gained 1,000 subscribers. That shows you what YouTube's just like, though. If you do watch content, not just from my channel, because I assume if you're watching this you're a subscriber already, this particular video at least. But yeah, if you watch content from people and you're like, oh, I enjoy that, do subscribe to them. Even if you subscribe and then a few weeks later you go, oh, I don't like any of their other stuff and unsubscribe, just click that subscribe button initially. It might end up being like your favourite channel or whatever. I know I didn't subscribe to, or didn't even watch Up Is Not Jump for a little while because I was like, oh no, that doesn't look like something I might enjoy. But if you just give things a try, you might get a new favourite channel or whatever. But yeah, that's a video which is big for both the 76 community and my channel individually. It's my second most viewed video of all time, and I think in terms of watch minutes, it's my most popular video I've ever made. It really, because it's almost 35 minutes long, it's 1 second off being 35 minutes long, and people watch it for a long time because it's good. It's a video I'm very proud of, and it did well, and fully happy for it. Now, on to my third most popular video of all time, it turns out, was The Traveller, a Skyrim build. Yeah, a Skyrim build in 2019. Yeah, so I made this one-off Skyrim build in 2019. I was like, why not? And it did surprisingly well. Right now, it's at 87,299 views, which is a hell of a lot. I think that makes it like my fourth or fifth maybe most viewed build ever. And it's been out for 9 months, so yeah, that's pretty decent. So yeah, that was, I just kind of decided I'll make one Skyrim build because there's still a lot of Skyrim subscribers on the channel, and I'll just make this for them. It's the character I was actually using for a bunch of cinematic stuff, just kind of cinematic B-roll more than anything, and I ended up making the build. I can't even remember what I did with the backstory or anything like that. It's a stealth archer and swordsman build. You make a stealth archer in Skyrim and people watch it. If I had no passion or no heart in the channel, I'd just make endless stealth builds. I'd make character builds for Skyrim, just stealth builds all day long, and I'd be doing fine in terms of analytics and stuff. That's all I'd need to do, and I'd get by. But I don't want to do that, because that's boring. But I made this one build, and people really liked it, and it did damn well. So I can't even remember what it was properly like. But I hope you enjoyed it if you watched it. So next up is something I can't remember what it's like, and it is possibly, I'd say this is the series I'm most proud of this year, which is Fallout 4 Roguelike. Now the video I'm actually looking at is kind of the intro video for it, just called Fallout 4 Roguelike, which only has 2,786 views and was published on the 21st of April, so not a huge series. I've been pushing it ever since it came out. Like, if you check in the top right hand corner of videos, then more often than not, Fallout 4 Roguelike is one of the suggested things to watch. I really, really want people to watch this series because it's a cinematic Fallout 4 series that combines character builds with challenge runs with cinematics. I freaking loved it. It's the type of content I'd love to be able to make on a daily basis, but it's also the kind of content you generally need a team of paid professionals to be making at the standard I want to make it. I did well for just doing it myself and trying to see if it's possible, but it really wasn't something I could stick with for the long term, especially as it just doesn't get that many views, despite it's got 100% like to dislike ratio. Nobody has disliked this video and it's got 248 likes, so almost 10% of views are likes and no dislikes. It was so good. Just watch it already. Stop watching this. Screw this video. Watch Fallout 4 Roguelike. It's one of the things I'm most proud of out of my entire YouTube career, and I really do wish it had just done better. Now, something that did incredibly well in terms of analytics and all that is the Fallout 76 weekly weapon videos. And I'm taking a look at the Action Hero, which was the first one I posted back in 24th of April, which got 16,484 views as of date of recording this thing. And yeah, the weekly weapon videos were big for my channel, because they always got decent levels of views, they brought in new subscribers, and they gave current subscribers something to just stick on the channel for. It was even if they weren't fussed about the other stuff, a lot of people I know subscribed to just see the weekly weapons, and I loved it. I loved having weekly weapons in the game, kind of dealt with to an extent the legendary system being a bit iffy. I'm so annoyed there's not weekly weapons in Fallout 76 anymore, because they were, in terms of a content creator, they were such stable things to focus on. Like, I just made these each and every week, and it helped the channel grow, and it helped out the community because they had a guide on it that I made like the same day. Oh man, I really hope weekly weapons come back with like Wastanders or something, because I'd love to have that weekly content I can make just nice and simple, but I guess that's not going to be the case. Alright, on to something a bit brighter, my most viewed video of the year, and of all time, how to unlock craftable backpacks. This is currently sat at 242,338 views. This is at almost 250,000 views, and is by far my most successful video ever. I'm actually going to start this off with one annoying thing I wish I had done, which is add on another 34 seconds to the video, or 35 seconds, because the video is 9 minutes and 26 seconds, because I figured I'd add in no padding or filler or anything like that. I'd just make it an honest guide, help everyone out. I really rushed through it as well, like I'd not slept very much during the whole thing, because it took a while to craft the backpacks, because the standard backpacks are a nightmare to craft and unlock and everything, and this was before the cheat sheets and stuff. I made like the first guide on this, which is part of the reason it got so many views. But yeah, I made this, and I did not expect it to be my biggest video ever, by any means. And the reason I say I should have added like 35 seconds on, is that if a video's over 10 minutes, which this isn't at only 9 minutes and 26 seconds, but if it's over 10 minutes you can put like a mid-roll ad or a couple of mid-roll ads in. If I'd done that, I'd have probably made, well, I'd have definitely made hundreds of pounds extra. I might have made like 1,000 more pounds or whatever. Like, that's a genuine thing. I could have made maybe like, yeah, I would have made a couple of £100 extra by just adding another 30 seconds onto the video, which is crazy to think of. But that's hindsight, I guess, and me just being greedy YouTuber, corporate chill or whatever. Yeah. Now on to another video that I didn't expect to do that well, and didn't even plan to do well at all. Like the backpack guide I at least knew would get lots of views. This one I expected to get like maybe 1,000, 2,000 views, which is building the perfect camp, Fallout 76 Camp Build Part 1, which is currently sat on 59,195 views, and is part of a 3-part miniseries where I just got drunk one night and decided I was going to rebuild my camp somewhere, because I was fed up with Scorched Beasts attacking it and Red Toads and stuff. And boy oh boy, YouTube just decided this would be the video they recommend to everyone. And I don't know why, it still gets recommended to people all the time, and it's not a good camp build. Like, the video ends with me just getting annoyed and scrapping everything, and then rebuilding in part 2 and finishing off the camp build in part 3. And this pissed off a lot of people who assumed this was a camp building guide, which it isn't. I specifically didn't put anything in the title, and tried to make kind of jokey descriptions and stuff for it. But yeah, it's not got the greatest like to dislike ratio. It's at 853 to 136 likes to dislikes, which isn't terrible by any means. But yeah, that was kind of, more than anything, that video showed me that YouTube will just recommend the stuff you don't plan or don't necessarily even want to be recommended. And the videos you're really passionate about, YouTube just will not care about. So oftentimes taking a shotgun approach to YouTube is the best way to do things. Like, if I just make like 5 videos a week that are all decent, then I have a better chance of success on the platform than making 1 video a month, which is amazing, which feels the wrong way around. Okay, on to the final video now. We jump to the 15th of November with the Builds Are Back trailer. So yeah, as you all know, I've been doing weekly builds for a while now, where each and every week on a Saturday I've had a character build come out, and it's had its ups and downs. I'll be looking at possibly tweaking some things going forward, because it's not working out quite as well and need to look for analytics and do all of that stuff, but that's all boring. But yeah, this was my last kind of thing I wanted to focus on in this video, because the channel's gone through a lot of changes. It's been primarily a Fallout 76 channel. I've tried switching that up a little bit over the past few months, and it's not gone too well, but sticking as a Fallout 76 channel doesn't go too well right now either, because there's not a lot going on in 76 other than drama and controversy, which isn't my kind of thing. So, going to builds seem like a sensible move, and I guess I'll have to wait a little longer to see just how well that will pan out, but that's it for the year in review, I guess. There's plenty more to come in 2020. I am proud to say that this year, not only did the channel break even, but it made a profit technically. Like, yeah, when I say it made a profit technically, I need to buy myself like a new chair and stuff, and probably like clean out and spend a little cash maybe on like some upgrades or minor things here and there, and by the time I've done that, the profit's probably all going to be gone. So, yeah, the channel at least has broken even. Like, I'm not having to go back to my old job and beg for it back or anything. So, a huge thank you to everyone who watches the content, because you're helping me do this full time, which, as a channel with 22,000 subscribers, 22.8k subscribers, there we go, yeah, as a channel with just under 23,000 subscribers, it's barely possible to do this. But thanks to you lot watching the content, sharing it with friends, just enjoying it, and those of you even supporting on Patreon as well, you lot make it so that the content gets made and keeps going on. So a huge thank you to all of you. I hope you enjoy 2020, and I hope your New Year's Eve is awesome, and you make out with that person you wanted to do. I think that's what happens on New Year's Eve. I tend to do nothing on mine, but I hope yours is good. And here's to 2020, let's hope it all goes well. Oh wait, there's an outro I do now, isn't there? As always, thanks for watching. Sarge out.